Welcome to the shooting show. This week we're across the Irish Sea to County Wicklow with Jason Doyle on a sika stag hunt. Plus we bring you all the latest news from the shooting world. Across the Irish Sea in County Wicklow, we're witnessing a collector's item, a solo stalk with Jason Doyle. Our favourite Irishman usually restricts himself to guiding others, but today he's vowed to reduce the sika population himself. With a Browning X-Bolt married to a Swarovski optic, Jason's well equipped for the task. But sika are notoriously hard to stalk, and the result is far from guaranteed. Let's see what Jason can do. With the stalk barely underway, we get an early setback.
We saw some hinds early on, way in the distance up on the side of the mountain, downwind from us in the forestry, and we had no choice but to give them our wind. We couldn't go around them, and unfortunately they alerted and it spooked the animals out on the hill, and by the time we got out there they'd disappeared.
But there's plenty of ground left to cover, and Jason's still optimistic.
See, we've covered a good bit of ground so far. We started out at that clear fall you can see in the distance. We've had a good trek through all this forestry, and now we're climbing up to the hill where we saw animals earlier. We disturbed those hinds that we'd seen down in the forest. I was hoping to get past them quietly, but they alerted and ran across us, so there's a good chance the animals we saw earlier on the hill have gone. But we're just going to sneak out now to the edge of the hill. It's about 150 yards in front of us, and see what we can see.
We've made it to the open ground, and now the wind is on our side, and it's clearly making a difference as we immediately start to see deer in some numbers. So far it's all hinds, but we know stag can't be far. Finally we're in luck as a mature stag makes its way out into a clearing to our right. It's perhaps too good for the cull plan, but seconds later it's followed by a small 6-pointer, which certainly fits the bill. It's down on the spot, and as we walk into the carcass, Jason explains what made this stalk work for him.
When I reached the open hill I managed to turn into the wind and hunt along the edge of the forestry. But then we came a different route back to the river, different route than we started, and the wind was perfect for it, and there was a small clearing. We saw a stag in the clearing, and I just got set up on the sticks as he moved across, and another smaller stag, a 6-pointer, stepped into the clearing. He stood just long enough to get a nice neck shot.
Jason completes the gralloch with little fuss, but the hard part is yet to come. We've come a few miles from the pickup and we need to get the stag back somehow. Obviously the cameraman can't help, so it's down to Jason to show us what he's made of.
Come on, Jake.
With sika stags weighing anything up to 70 kilos, this is no lightweight job. Jason's making a good fist of it, even if the walk back does seem to be twice as long as the stalk out.
Starting to feel the weight a little bit now. My first carry of the season, and we've a good 4 kilometres from where we shot the stag to back to the car. So my legs are starting to feel it a little bit now. Not much further to go, we're about halfway. So crack on.
We ask Jason if he can film the carry-out again from a different angle, but he doesn't seem to be in the mood. A final push and we're in sight of the vehicle.
Glad to see the road.
Back on the road means we can bring the pickup to us, though we make Jason walk a few more yards first. After a break to catch his breath, Jason tells us what it was like to be out stalking solo once more.
Well, that's the end of a really enjoyable day on the hill. Started quite late today, it's probably 12 o'clock getting out. The wind was against us today really, there was very light wind, which in steep mountains can go anywhere. The mountains tend to pull the wind down, and even though the prevailing wind might be a certain direction and the forecast wind might be a certain direction, when you actually get into the valleys and onto the slopes, the wind can be anywhere unless it's of a decent strength. So that's what happened today. I tried to cut the wind to get out to some animals. We had a couple of stalks, made a couple of mistakes, probably trying to be too clever with the camera, trying to get a little bit too close for a good shot, and I spoiled a couple of stalks, totally my own fault. It's good fun, nice carry out, about an hour's carry out now. I'm feeling it now. First good carry this season, and it's actually the first deer I've shot this season, so it's nice to get off the mark, nice to have a good walk, and beautiful day to be out. It's also my first day with the new Swarovski EL range 8x42s. I'm really happy with these binoculars. One thing I like about them when you're stalking in forestry and you want to keep them open, some binoculars, every time you put them down by your chest, the end caps can go back on, so when you lift them again they're in the way. But these, once they're open, they stay open, and once you close them again, they stay closed. The rangefinder of course is excellent on them. They're neat, they're tidy. I'm very happy with them. The glass is really, really good, much better than anything I've used. And the screen you're looking at when you're using them is huge. It's like watching a widescreen TV compared to a conventional TV. I'm really happy with them. It's also my first kill with the Browning X-Bolt. I've been using this for quite a bit over the summer. Shot some targets with it and did a video on maximum point blank range with it. But this was my first day on the hill. It's a rifle I'm happy with, I'm very comfortable with it now. There's a few features I like. The safety catch in particular I like, and this little button here allowing you to cycle the bolt without putting the rifle onto the fire position. It's a feature I really like, especially when clients have the rifle in their hands. They can cycle the bolt and I know that it hasn't got onto the fire position. This rifle combined with the 1.7 to 10x42 Swarovski is a really nice package for mountain stalking. It's light, it's rugged, it's durable. The scope and the rifle have a low profile together with low mounts, nice cheek weld. Scope maybe a little bit low magnification for what I'd like, but it's perfect for daytime shooting. And on the mountain it's just a nice piece of kit to carry. Goes well on my rucksack, it's nice and light. With the Houskin moderator, doesn't add too much extra weight to the end of the barrel. The whole thing sits really nicely on the shoulder or on the backpack, whichever you're using. So yeah, that's it. Been a good day, good result, and had a good walk, and hopefully we'll get out again soon.
Jason Doyle narrowly avoiding a hernia there. And now, it's the Shooting Show News.
This is the Shooting Show News. The Clay Shooting Classic has a new venue for 2016. Europe's largest independent clay shoot will come to High Lodge in Suffolk on the 15th to the 18th of June next year. Run by John Bidwell, High Lodge is a renowned destination with luxury lodges and stunning scenery. Expect a massive prize fund and a huge array of sponsors. Details and an entry form will be available in the January edition of Clay Shooting, out next week. Staying with clay shooting, the Compact World Championship is back on. Last month it looked like the event was called off after a dispute between Fitask and the host ground EJ Churchill. But the two have now agreed to work together and put the event on after all. Churchill's Rob Fennick said it was a great outcome for the shooters and he couldn't wait to show off our country to an international audience. There's plenty for gamekeepers and land managers at the UK Game Fair. The latest news is that Yamaha has signed up as a flagship exhibitor for the ATV section. They'll be bringing a full range of their quads and utility vehicles for visitors to try and buy. Save the dates now, 22nd to the 24th of July, Stoneleigh. A grouse shoot on Ilkley Moor in West Yorkshire has won the prestigious Purdy Gold Award for conservation. The Bingley, Burley and Ilkley Moors partnership has rebuilt the moor's red grouse population from just a handful of breeding pairs in 7 years. It is only the third grouse moor to win the award since it was launched. Full story in the January issue of iShoot magazine. And finally, plans to find the next Olympic shooting medalist have been announced. British Shooting has set up a talent network of grounds across the UK, which will work with the governing body to identify and recruit future Olympic stars. Olympic gold medalist Peter Wilson said the network was a brilliant idea and that the more British Shooting does to find talent at the grassroots level, the better. That was the Shooting Show News.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you're not a member of Basque, it's time to join now. Basque, looking after your sport, looking after you. This has been The Shooting Show.